Y'all ain't getting nothing for free.
What's up, everyone? It's your boy, The Business, coming back at you live for episode 44 of The Business. Let's be real. Today, we wanted to take some time out before the new year to talk a little bit about the bowl games that are being played today and tomorrow, and then talk about the national championship. And Gavin and I haven't had a chance to do that just yet, but we were trying to get it done, and he was really convincing with me today to try to do a show because he wanted to come on and speak his piece about it. So I wanted to go ahead and give him that chance. We always have a fun time when we chop it up. This won't be a long show; it'll be quick. We'll shoot it up about the games that are going on today and all the games that are going on tomorrow. We do want to give our 2 cents about what we think those games are going to be, today's games, and then at the end we'll give a national championship prediction on what we think is going to happen in that final game as well. So with that being said, The Business, let's be real, episode 44 begins now. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to The Business. Let's be real with Gavin and I. Gavin, how you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Good. Good to see you, buddy. Always have a fun time with you. Let me see. We got some comments that popped in. Mr. Steve popped in. What's up, brother? How you doing, Steve? Good to see you, buddy. Let me change those banners around.
Hey, Miss Morris. Hello.
Yeah. Miss Holly's popping in. Yeah, we'll pop them back up like that. Miss Holly pops in. She's saying, hey, Tony. Hey, Gavin. Yeah. Hey, Miss Holly. How are you? Mr. Bibb, Happy New Year's. Thank you so much, sir. We appreciate it. Yeah. How you excited? Are you excited about the end of 2021 coming up? Or did you have a good year this year? Tell me a little bit about how your year was for 2021. You, buddy.
Oh, me? Are you talking to
No, I'm talking to you.
2021 was better than 2020. I'll say that.
Okay.
But yeah, I like 2021 because I don't know. It just was. I don't really know.
Yeah.
Well, no, it was cool.
Mr. Darren popping in. Darren, how you doing, buddy? Happy New Year to you guys. Hopefully your family's doing well. Yeah, I mean, I thought 2021 was a lot better year than 2020. You and I know there's a lot of things that happened to a lot of people in 2020, and most people had a rough year in 2020, and I think 2021 was a better year, going in some good direction, and yeah, I had fun with it. We did some cool stuff. Won a couple championships, county championships in baseball and Little League. I got to go to Texas. Yeah, the Robbins team undefeated. That's right. And I thought those were some cool things. You got to play some basketball again this year. You guys had a good team. You're playing football right now, which is huge.
Yeah, I know.
So it's like we have a lot of fun running around doing all these different things. Gia's doing dance and gymnastics, and you guys are always keeping us busy. So we had fun in 2021, but looking forward to 2022. I think is going to be an even better year. What you think?
Yes, probably. I think it's going to be better. I hope COVID dies down even more.
Yeah, well, that's the plan. Hopefully it does start to fade away. You see Mr. Bibb's comment about your Rico glove. Yeah, he likes that glove, man. We're still working on breaking it in. It's probably going to take us a couple weeks.
Maybe a month. Probably a month.
Yeah. So it's definitely going to take some time. But yeah, if you don't mind, let's just, I guess, go ahead and jump into some of the games we got going on today. We do have the early game, which you and I were talking about a little bit about, and it's going to be that Alabama versus Cincinnati game. If you want to go ahead and chat a little bit about what you think are the pros and cons of this game, and pretty much if you want to go ahead and give your prediction on who you think is going to win this game.
So I say Alabama because Cincinnati is in a trash division. Like, their division's trash. So I feel like since Alabama's in the SEC and they just came back from beating Georgia, the number one team in the country, I feel like they're gonna come out there and I feel like they're gonna like blow Cincinnati out. Can I give my score prediction?
Sure, go ahead.
I think it's gonna be like 35-7. Gonna be the score, Alabama.
Okay. Yeah, it's going to be a tough one for Cincinnati. I don't think Cincinnati's matched up against anybody quite the size of Alabama, and I think that's kind of what you're preluding to is saying, they haven't seen a team like Alabama this season. Yeah. Cincinnati just doesn't match up against those kind of teams.
But the thing is, I've heard I don't know if it's a running back, but someone from Cincinnati, he used to play for Alabama. So I don't know about that.
Oh, maybe. I don't know either, but that's possible because Alabama's so deep in their roster. You know what I mean? That in order for some guys to get some playing time outside of junior and senior year, most of these guys, by the time they start playing, they're juniors and seniors at Alabama because they've been sitting behind superstars that were ahead of them. You know what I mean? Yeah. So
like the kid at quarterback now, he's like. He was going to be the starter last year, and then Mac took his job.
Yeah, and he was. I mean, he's good. He won
the what's it called, the Heisman Trophy.
Yeah, Bryce Young, I think is his name, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that the kid's name from Alabama? I think that's his name, Bryce Young. But yeah, I think that it's going to be a tough game. Cincinnati's definitely going to be in the game. They've got good defensive backs. They got a good defensive line. Their defensive backs really haven't given.
I feel like it's no match for Alabama's offense. That's the thing.
Yeah, and that's the thing. They're so fast, and if you give Bryce Young enough time back there, he's going to pick you apart.
That's what he did against Auburn. They were losing bad, and he just came down the field, was picking them apart a little bit at a time.
He made Georgia look bad in the SEC championship, and everybody was raving about Georgia's defense, and that we had been hearing all about Georgia's defense all year long, like, oh my God, Georgia's defense. And don't get me wrong, Georgia's defense,
it's probably the number one in the country.
Yeah, and they look great, especially that first game of the season when they mashed up against Clemson. But it's a different Clemson team now. You know what I mean?
Not the Trevor Lawrence Clemson team. It's whatever. I don't even know the quarterback's name for Clemson anymore.
Yeah, and it's like when Trevor's not there, ATN's not there. I mean, it's a different team. So, but I thought Georgia had a strong defense, and we'll talk more about Georgia here in the next segment. But the as far as Cincinnati, Alabama goes, I think this is going to be a rough one for Cincinnati. Are they going to be in the game? Yeah, I think they'll be in it only because of the fact that I think that they were very unpredictable this whole season, but they didn't play tough competition. So I think that's where it's going to hurt.
I think the toughest competition they played was like a 22 ranked team, and it was in the conference championship. I forgot who they played. But they played someone, and they were only ranked. I'm like, that's probably the highest rank they played all season.
Yeah, it was probably Houston, I think.
It was Houston, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. They said Houston won, like, something crazy straight, those titles.
Yeah, crazy straight. I believe it. So, yeah, I mean, who wins the game? Alabama. Moves on to the national championship game. You called 35-7. I don't even know if it's going to be that close. They're saying, I think the odds were like 65 point total combined between the two. If it is, it's going to be a stupid blowout, like 52-14 to get to that number. But yeah, I think Cincinnati's outmatched. I would have liked to. Nothing against Cincinnati. They're just,
Yeah.
they're not equipped to match against a team like Alabama. Hey,
We never know.
yeah, like I'm not going to knock off the Cinderella team just yet, and that's why they play the game. And that's what this is for. It's to have fun and let these guys get out there and play the game and see what happens, man.
Yeah,
So
you never know.
good luck to Cincinnati today. But
I hope Cincinnati wins. I hope. I hope you win, but you're probably not going to win.
Yeah. So, and that's our prediction on the Alabama-Cincinnati game coming on at 3:30 today. The 7:30 game is going to match up Georgia versus that team up north. And I'm sorry, I can't write the name. I can't say the name. We don't try to say it around this household. Every once in a while we do. We slip up, and it's like a bad word in this house. So, Georgia versus the team up north. Who do you think has the better matchup? Because they're both great defenses, both great offenses. They both got some weapons. But who do you think is going to be able to pull out the win?
I feel like that team up north is going to pull off the win, though. I don't know. I shouldn't be saying this, but I feel like they got a good defense. I feel like they have a way better offense than Georgia. I feel like. And they just knocked off the number 2 team in the country. They're going to be dangerous, I think.
Yeah. I think they're going to be flying high off of that Ohio State win. You know, they took it into that Big Ten championship and blew Iowa out.
Yeah, that wasn't even close. That game was like, I think it was like 42. Like, they kept doing these trick plays, Dad. I saw on ESPN, they were like doing these weird trick plays to get Iowa. Which is the case. If they do that against Georgia, we never know. Georgia could, because Georgia has a good defense. They might not be tricked by that.
Yeah, that's true.
I think that's how they beat Iowa, off of trick plays.
Yeah, and the thing is that, you know, they're a good enough team to where they can if they can get Georgia back on their heels and make them play from behind, Georgia's in trouble. Then you know that.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a score prediction.
Yeah, they have a good enough defense, and we'll talk more about the offense. But go ahead in your score prediction.
I think it's gonna be an awful close game. I feel like it's gonna be a low scoring game. I think it's gonna be 21-24. That team up north.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's gonna be a close game as well. I think both teams have great defenses. I think what you said is true about that team up north's offense. I think they have a little bit more weapons. They have that 1-2 punch in the backfield with the 2 running backs going. They have McNamara, who's a good quarterback. And I think that they have. And you and I talked about this since the beginning of the season. That team
had the best chance to beat us than any team.
The most equipped team to beat us. Finally. They had always fallen short, but this team for some reason seemed different. And I think that they can beat this Georgia team today, and I think that they're going to have a good chance riding a good wave going into that national championship game against an Alabama or a Cincinnati, whoever's able to pull that first game out, to possibly win that game as well. So it's going to be close. This is why this show is called The Business Let's Be Real, because regardless of how we care for this team or not, we're going to be honest with you and kind of give you our predictions on it. He's picking the team up north, 24-21. I'm picking that team up north, probably a little closer margin, probably like a 17-14 margin, but still by 3 points nonetheless. I think it's going to be a very good defensive battle. I think that's what he and I are expecting to watch, is a pretty low scoring ball game, pretty boring, and defense is going to help secure the victory for that team up north. But I think you're right. I think they're going to be able to pull it out and knock off Georgia today.
Yes.
All right, so let's talk about those were the today games. If you don't mind, let's talk a little bit about
tomorrow.
Yeah, what games are coming in tomorrow? Give me 1 second, buddy, and I'll get us some. games on what's going on here. I got all the schedule and everything here. I'm trying to find it. But yeah, let's see, scores. All right. Okay, tomorrow's games. The early game is going to be. Let's see. I don't even know what bowl game that is. Hold on. Sorry, I apologize to everyone. I'm not as prepared as I should have been because I thought I was a little bit better prepared for this, but my computer's lagging a little bit too, so that doesn't help me either. But it's showing like the first game that you and I should talk about is the Penn State Arkansas game. That game is going to be on pretty early. It's a matchup of a Big Ten versus SEC team. It looks like we got a couple of those throughout the day. Penn State, Arkansas, Iowa, Kentucky. So if you want to give your thoughts on that Penn State, Arkansas game.
Can we do Iowa, Kentucky next, though, too?
Yeah. We'll talk about that one next.
Penn State, Arkansas. The thing about Penn State is that they were really good, but, like, they just had to play some tough teams. Like us, Michigan, that team up north, and then Michigan State.
Yeah.
They face all of them. So I feel like that's made them, like,
And they faced them, like, back to back. You know what I'm saying?
It was like back to back. Like, they didn't give them a break at all.
Yeah.
So I feel like Penn State's going to get the dub. I feel like they're going to go out there and they're going to beat Arkansas. I don't know much about Arkansas, really. So I don't know. Arkansas could win, but I feel like Penn State 28-21.
Okay.
State.
I think that's going to be a close game as well. I don't know about Arkansas too much. I didn't get to really see them too much as far as this SEC goes. You and I, we do live in the South, but there's so many teams in this SEC conference that it's hard to keep up with them all.
Yeah, there's so many good teams too. Like Arkansas is pretty good though too.
Yeah. And I think that I think like what you said though, this was a good team this year from Penn State. This was a team that they were talking about early in the season. Were ranked number 2 in the country, I think, at one time.
Yeah, it was number 2.
And so they're a good, solid team. I think they just got to get their head on their shoulders right going into this game tomorrow. And I think that they can beat Arkansas, honestly. I believe it's going to be a good, close game. But I think that Penn State pulls it out. So that's the plan. That's what I'm hoping. Maybe it's just that I'm a Big Ten fan. And, we always cheer for our Big Ten teams when it comes to bowl time.
Besides that team up north.
Well,
yeah.
The next game will be the Iowa versus Kentucky game tomorrow. Can you give? I know we watched a little bit of Iowa, and we've seen Kentucky because we saw Kentucky knock off Florida.
Almost knocked off Georgia.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. They knocked off Florida. They knocked off Georgia. They kind of cut Florida's legs out from under them at a time when Florida thought that they were, a top team, and then once they got beat by Kentucky, then their season,
the same team again.
Yeah, their season went for naught. So, talk about this game and who you think could come out on top of this one.
Okay, in this game, I actually don't think. I think I was gonna lose. I feel like Kentucky. I feel like they've faced so many better teams. I don't think even Iowa. I don't think they've even faced Ohio State, Penn State. I think they only played Michigan, really. That was a top-ranked team, right? That's it, really.
Yeah. No, Iowa played everybody. Iowa knocked off Penn State too, I think. I want to say they beat Penn State too. So, it's going to be it'll be a good game. I don't know if they came out of the other side of the Big Ten championship side, but they did get rolled over. So it'll be tough.
That side was kind of sneaky. But I feel like Kentucky's gonna win this. They got a good quarterback. I'm pretty sure he was a quarterback on the last QB1, wasn't he? This kid, I'm pretty sure he was the last quarterback on QB1. So I feel like he's gonna. I feel
Oh,
like
I don't know. Is that the kid from QB1? I know that kid was going to Kentucky, but I don't know if he's the kid there starting there now. But you might be
I don't
right.
know. Yeah, but I remember a kid going to Kentucky.
Yeah.
So I feel like Kentucky's gonna pull it out. I don't really know how good the defense is. I don't know about that really. I know Kentucky is a solid team, but I don't really know about Iowa's defense or anything like that. I know Iowa's ranked number 2 in the country at some point, but I feel like Kentucky, I don't know, 21-17. Yeah,
Kentucky.
Kentucky. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, it's kind of funny because you and I think so much alike. We're, you know, what I mean, as far as, you know, the last game we're talking about, Penn State and, you know, Arkansas, and you and I kind of more went towards the Penn State side. But this side is a little bit different. I think that this game, because of the fact that you and I have seen Kentucky play, we did watch them knock off of Florida. We did have them watch them play some close games with Georgia's and other good teams in the SEC. That it makes you think like, hey, this Kentucky team can play some ball. And I think that Iowa may be coming off with the Big Ten loss, a little reeling.
A little sad. Yeah,
they had some time to prepare, and hopefully they come in ready to play because that Kentucky team is going to come in ready to play. But I just don't know if Iowa's going to have enough to beat them. So, yeah, I'm going with you on that one too, man. Kentucky knocks off Iowa for sure. All right, the next game that's coming on tomorrow is going to be Oklahoma State versus Notre Dame. That should be a good game. Notre Dame was right there knocking on the door to try to get into the playoff. Oklahoma State's one of the top.
Notre Dame.
Yeah, Oklahoma State's one of the top teams coming out of the Big 12. So yeah, it should be a good game. I think that you know it'll be something to watch. You and I will definitely have it on and kind of watch that game because I think we have a close tie to Notre Dame. Papa's a big fan of Notre Dame. So you and I, whenever we get a chance to watch Notre Dame play, we definitely watch them play.
All right. So what I feel like. So what was it? Notre Dame. The thing about Notre Dame is they should have been in the playoff. Since Georgia they lost, Notre Dame should have took the spot. Georgia should have went to ranked 7, ranked 6. They should have dropped out of the playoff since they just lost. Because, whenever anyone else loses, they drop down, right? It's not for the SEC teams. Whenever they lose, they drop down 2 places and then don't third. Right? Right?
It's true. I'm not saying what you're not saying is true because it is true.
It's only SEC teams. Like, dang. Like, so I feel like Notre Dame should have been in the college football playoffs. Mm-hmm. I feel like they're kind of mad. I feel like they're going to use out all their anger against Oklahoma State. And Oklahoma State also just came back from a heartbreaking loss against Baylor. He was like 1 yard away and missed a touchdown.
That was rough, right? You and I watched that game live and watched the ending of that game.
They had 8 chances at the 1 yard line. They missed 8 chances.
Yeah. No, that's true.
I feel like they're heartbroken right now. I feel like they're gonna go in the game and Notre Dame's mad that they ain't getting to the playoffs, so Notre Dame's gonna go out there and just beat up Oklahoma State. I feel like it's gonna be maybe like 42-14. I think.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's gonna be a great game. Like we said, Notre Dame was the number 5 team. They were the last team on the outside looking in, knocking on the door to try to get in the playoff. Like you and I talk about all the time, I don't think it's fair that, when you play those top teams in your bowl game or in your conference championship, in your conference championship, and then you lose and you still make the playoff. That's not the way the system should be. And I think that's why still having the human factor in it makes it wrong. You know what I'm saying? Because they still vote with their hearts instead of their heads. You know what I mean? Like it's not a fair, legit system. The system is broken and needs to be fixed. But I don't know how they're going to fix it because sometimes I look at the computer ratings, and you and I laugh at that too, because it's
Yeah.
mind-boggling how the computer does it as well.
I was thinking about the computer, but like whenever we just lost to that team up north,
We were still
it said we were
number
still
two.
number 2. Like we're
Yeah.
not number 2. We just lost, right?
Yeah, by power rankings, we were still the number 2 team in the country, and it was crazy. I know, and that's what I'm saying. Like, we don't know how exactly is the best way to do it. I know everybody thinks that they have a best way, and that's by expanding the playoff, expand the playoff, expand the playoff, expand the playoff, go to a 12-team playoff. Well, then what about the 13 team? They're on the outside, you know what I mean? And what if they were just as good as the number 10, 11, and 12 team? Why would it be fair for them to be on the outside looking in? And then do we go to 12 teams in the playoff? And then how many SEC teams are there going to be in the playoff? 8?
7, 8. Yeah.
Like, seriously, nobody wants to see that. Nobody wants to see.
Well, I'm gonna name you some SEC teams right now: Georgia, Alabama, Florida, Kentucky. That's 4 teams right there.
Ole
And who
Miss.
knows?
Ole
Right
Miss.
there, right?
Ole Miss is about to be coming up again too, because we're about to talk about them next.
Oh yeah, Spencer Rattler, right?
Yeah,
I
and
got
it's like
Spencer.
no. Spencer's going to South Carolina.
Oh, I thought they got. I thought.
No,
Ole Miss
he was going to. He was thinking about Ole Miss. Ole Miss was one of his, but he ended up going to South Carolina. But yeah, Oklahoma State versus Notre Dame. I think it's going to be a good game. I think Notre Dame is going to come out with a chip on their shoulder, a little bit mad that they didn't get themselves in the playoff, and they're going to come out with something to prove. I think that Oklahoma State's in trouble, so they better be ready to play, and because Notre Dame's going to come play. Oklahoma State ain't got no defense. There's no defense in that conference over there in the Big 12.
No.
So,
but yeah, again, Notre Dame's not in a conference, so
yeah. All right, let's talk about the next game. It's not necessarily the next game for tomorrow. It's the late game for tomorrow, but we're going to talk about Ohio State next. So the late game for tomorrow night is going to be Baylor versus Ole Miss, which should be a great matchup. You and I get to see Ole Miss play. We did watch the Big 12 championship game with Baylor. This is a number 6 Baylor team who was right there on the verge of getting in versus a number 8 Ole Miss team. How do you see this game going? This game may be the best game of tomorrow.
I see it going. I don't know. I think if Baylor has no defense, really, do they?
No.
I think they have the best defense out of the conference.
Which is possible. But
So
I just don't. I mean,
Go ahead.
in a conference that has no defense, but
They have the best one. Conference. So I feel like Baylor is gonna win because Baylor just knocked off Oklahoma State, and so I feel like they're gonna come in here against Ole Miss and I feel like they're gonna beat Ole Miss. I don't know why. I don't know much about Ole Miss. I don't think really.
no, it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be I think it'll be good. We haven't got to see as much of Ole Miss as we usually do. I think that Baylor's got a good offense. You know that they're going to come in and have a shootout. They're going to go after Ole Miss's defense, especially their defensive backs. They throw a lot of deep passes. They got a good running game. Like it's going to be a good matchup, I think. But once again, it's one of those SEC teams that's ranked up high that, you know what I mean, that could have been in the playoff themselves if it wasn't for, a Georgia team that had been riding at the top of the polls all season long. So I think that it's going to be a good game. Does Baylor beat Ole Miss? I don't know. I'm hoping to see a good game. I think it'll be fun to watch. And that's why I say I think this might be the best game of the day. There are some top-ranked teams playing tomorrow, which are going to be the good games to watch. But, yeah, I think this one's going to be right up there with it. Did you do a prediction on score for this one?
No. I feel like Baylor. I feel like high-scoring game. Probably like 42-35 because I don't know if Ole Miss has a defense or not, but I know Baylor has a trash defense. But
yeah. Well, all right. So Did you do a score? Was that a score at all?
Yeah, I said 42-35. Baylor.
Okay. All right. Yeah, Baylor versus Ole Miss. I think Baylor has enough maybe to pull it out. But we'll see. We'll see tomorrow. We'll see tomorrow night on if they do have enough. All right. The next game that we're gonna watch tomorrow that we're excited for is the Ohio State versus Utah. That should be a good game. I'm going to let you go ahead and chat a little bit about that. I don't know if you know some of the guys will be missing tomorrow. Chris Olave's not playing tomorrow.
Is he going to the draft?
I don't know if he's sitting out for that, but yeah, there's a couple guys that are going to be not playing tomorrow. So, and Olave's probably one of them because I think it is his time to sit and get ready for the draft.
Okay, so what I'm going to say is, I don't know. Like, I know I'm a Buckeye for life, but I don't know. Like, Utah, they beat Oregon twice. They beat Oregon 2 times.
Mm-hmm.
And they crushed Oregon. The score was, the first time, 38-10. The second time, 38-7. Crushed them both times.
Yeah.
And yeah. So I don't know. I really don't know, but
well, I mean, you're bringing up the Oregon thing, I guess, because of the fact that Oregon knocked off Ohio State early in the season, but it was only game 2.
it's true.
It wasn't like it was, late in the season that they beat us. But yeah, I think that this matchup is going to be huge too. People underestimate Utah and always have underestimated Utah. Even back when Urban Meyer was there, and Urban Meyer ran into a perfect.
He coached Utah.
He coached Utah. He was the coach. He was the coach of Utah before he went to Florida. Yeah, before he went to Florida, he coached a perfect season with then the quarterback Alex Smith, who was the one who got his leg all rearranged for Washington. Remember that he used to play for San Fran, and then I think he went to the Cardinals, and then he went to Washington and played after he wrecked his leg. But yeah, Alex Smith was the quarterback for Utah back when Urban Meyer was there, and Urban ran him to a perfect season. Not a national championship, but a perfect season nonetheless.
Were they ranked?
They were ranked. Yeah, they were ranked, but they were such a small school in a small conference that they didn't get what they deserved as far as notoriety. And I still think that they don't. I think Ohio State better be prepared going into this game. I know we're missing a lot of weapons, and I think that it'll be huge for us to try to get ready for. But I think it's going to be a good one nonetheless. Like, it has to be something they're prepared for. The guys that aren't playing regardless. So it's time now for these young guys to step up, show who they are in a bowl game, and then get ready to start, making that team theirs for next season. And that's where they go from there. I think that, Ohio State's going to always have the next guy up kind of mentality. I think it's going to be a great game between them and Utah tomorrow night.
I didn't give a score prediction yet, though.
Yeah, and I'll let you do that here in a second. I think it's going to be a close game. Ohio State's defense is always right there playing with you. They got tons of weapons on offense, and if them boys can get clicking, it's going to be a long, long game for Utah. But I'm not going to count Utah out. I think it's going to be a close game. And but do I see the Buckeyes pulling out? Definitely. Go ahead now with your score prediction for that game tomorrow.
I see the Buckeyes pulling it out, but in a close game, I think it's going to be 35-38 Buckeyes.
35-38 Buckeyes. Okay, I'm good with that. I'm going to roll with that. Okay, and then the last game that we're going to talk about is going to be the national championship game. And pretty much based off of mine and your predictions of the games that are coming out today, we're looking at Alabama versus that team up north. Do you want to go ahead? I'll let you chat first about that.
All right, so that's going to be a good game. I feel like I don't know really about Alabama's defense. I don't really know about their defense. Do they have a good defense?
Yes.
Okay. So they do have a good defense. I knew they had a good one last year. They had a really good one last year. So if they have a good defense, they can stop the that team up north offense. And then I mean, Michigan had. I mean, that team up north has a defense too, but like probably maybe better than Georgia's. You never know. Those defense is good, but I feel like Alabama's gonna squeak it out. I feel like it's gonna be low scoring game, probably like 14-10, maybe 14-10.
14-10 Alabama. All right. Yeah, I mean, I definitely think it's going to be a good game. I think that team up north is going to be the most well-rounded team that Alabama has seen. You know, I think they saw a good Georgia team. They've seen some good teams. Florida really gave them a run for their money. Florida, unfortunately, got blown away so much in that first quarter that Alabama was able to sit back and go in cruise control and let Florida try to climb their way back, and they just ran out of time. But I think that this team from that team up north is the best well-rounded team that Alabama's going to see. So I think that, you know, I mean, it's going to probably be truly the best matchup of the season and should be the national championship game. It should be Alabama versus that team up north for the national championship. And, you know, who wins? Probably Alabama again. I mean, would I like to see, you know, them get knocked off? Of course. But by the team up north, I don't know. I don't know if they have enough. They're good. And I think that they like I said, they're going to have the best chance to actually beat Alabama. Other than, I mean, Texas A&M beating Alabama was listen, they caught them sleeping and they were able to take the Giant down. Okay. That wasn't a Texas A&M playing
so
that
much
team.
better than Alabama.
Yeah, Texas A&M plays Alabama 10 times. They lose to them 9 out of 10. You know, so I think that it's going to be good. And Nick's jumping in. Go Dogs. You're going to be cheering for them Georgia boys today. I see you. Thanks, Nick, for chiming in. But yeah, I think it's going to be a close game. I think it'll be good. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if anybody can beat Alabama now at this point. They're kind of on a roll, so it'll be good to watch. And hopefully we get to see it. And, you know, we'll be watching it. You and I will be analyzing it and talking about it and giving our 2 cents. So, but yeah, at this time, buddy, I think we're going to, you know, you and I are going to get off and you're going to help me make some beer cheese and we're going to hang out and eat some chicken wings and some pizza and watch ball games, man. You good for that?
Yes, I'm hungry.
Go ahead and give your final shout out and your final quote of the night.
Okay. And until next time, you've been Gavinized.
I love you, buddy.
Love you too.
All right. So yeah, that's Gavin. He and I always come on. We try to talk about the games that we're gonna watch, and there's a bunch of stuff that he and I do that we come on and chat about throughout the year. We chat a lot about football, wrestling. You know, as we get closer to the Super Bowl, he and I will talk about the playoffs. The little man's running through fantasy football in his first season right now. He's playing in the championship of his first fantasy football league. You know, so the little guy knows a lot about stats, has a lot of fun with it, enjoys coming on here and chopping it up with his pops and just having a good time. And I enjoy it too, man. I'll tell you what, like, it's fun to have somebody that you can talk with and it just be open. You know, we're just having open conversation. We never get into arguments with each other about, you know, statistics or who we think's going to win or anything like that. You know, he's very passionate about the game. He does love his Buckeyes. He does love his Browns. He's very passionate about those teams. He hates to see them lose to the point where he gets really pretty mad sometimes, but that's okay. I like for him to be passionate. I like for him to cheer for his teams and, you know, be excited when they win and, you know, be humble when they lose, you know, and take it gracefully. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and let you guys get out of here and enjoy the rest of the night. All right. That being said, the business, let's be real, episode 44, over, out. Bye.